shut. I guess I slammed it. Sorry. I'm going to do some drawing too. So, oh, here we go. Here's our special
Hey, what's
announcement.
up?
Hey, Ming-Na. Let me give you an introduction, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So,
I
I
can't wait
hope
to hear it.
can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. Everybody, this is Ming-Na Wen. She is the voice of Mulan. She is in a Star Wars franchise, as you know. She's in The Mandalorian right now. And she's in the, not the Avengers, but in a Marvel property, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And the big announcement today is that she is on the advisory board for Pencilish Animation Studios. Welcome, Ming.
Hi. I'm
Nina.
actually now in apparently two Star Wars franchise,
Oh,
which is The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett.
yeah, that was announced at the very end of what, season 2 of Mandalorian, right?
Crazy, yes, and very very excited to be part of your group there. I'm very
Yeah,
proud of you. It's
thank you. I
it
appreciate
takes a
that.
lot of work and a lot of perseverance, and you are going to make it happen.
Thank you, Ming Na. And I'm super happy to have you be a part of this. As everybody knows, the other people on the advisory board are, Aaron Blaze, who directed, Brother Bear, my brother Tony, who co-directed Mulan. Ming Na, you
Mhm.
know him very well.
I sure do. I love Tony.
Yeah, he's okay. Uh,
Yeah, all right. You're the
um,
better twin.
I'm the nicer one. Come on. Yeah. Now I understand you're on set right now. I know you can't talk
um,
about it.
am I? Am I on set? I don't know.
Okay, that's
It's a funny business these days where anything I do, like Gremlins was just announced, and
ooh,
I've been doing that for a little bit, but they keep a lot of things under wraps, and these days I don't think actors really even need a publicist because you can't announce or mention anything anymore anyways.
yeah. You're right. There's so much secrecy. Is that what you mean?
Hmm. Oh yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That is hard. It's true in animation too. It's always amazed me. All the it feels like I sign an NDA every day. Um, and yeah, and I'm sure you're the same way. Um, and and we're not making bombs. We're making animated cartoons. So
Right, right. And you would think with social media, they would want more advertisement about a project that's coming up or
yes,
more people talking about it as opposed to the opposite effect that social media has created, which is the fear that something is going to leak out and be major spoilers, which
yeah,
I never understood. I never understood why in the world, if you're a diehard fan of any franchise or any movie, you would want to have it spoiled.
yeah. I don't get it either, and you're right. And why not have the companies control that, right? Like if they're the ones not leaking, but getting information out there, then hopefully people wouldn't be so speculative. But it's because they don't say
Mhm.
anything, and there's so much secrecy. That's what kind of ends up happening, I think.
Right, right. But heck, I've gotten really good at it though. So I am allowed to say I'm on the board of Pencilish, right?
Yes, you are. Yeah, contracts have been signed. So, yes, we can talk about it now. This is actually literally the first time anybody's hearing about it right now, Ming-Na. Uh, it has
Oh,
not
nice.
been announced anywhere else until just now.
Well, I am glad that I was able to just pop in and say hello. Are you going to have any other people come in and say hello to you?
Yeah, hopefully we have
Nobody wants to talk to you today. No, I'm just kidding.
and best, I'm also going to draw a little bit too. It's a whole show. We're just doing a show here now.
I
But
love it.
But yeah, hopefully Tony will come on. An invite was sent out, and I don't know if he got it or not. But
Yeah.
uh,
Well, what's so amazing is being in all these different franchises, whether it's Mulan or for Disney, or any animation, or the Star, is there are so many incredibly talented people out there, our fans.
Yeah.
And I think what you do is you continue to inspire them by teaching how to draw, by teaching them that you can make a career and a living out of it. And you can even start your own studio, just like Walt Disney did.
Hmm.
It just takes a lot of hard work. And I
Yeah.
think you're a great example of that.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I owe you a drawing, Mina. I think I really feel that
I
way
was
now.
hoping you would say that. No.
Yeah, for sure. And so I know you got to go pretty soon, but I want to ask like a geek question. Do you mind?
Sure.
Okay. All
I
right.
hope I can answer it.
I
Yeah.
know. I'm actually trying to think of one, but uh, so I mean, you've had such amazing, great honors in your career. I mean, what an honor to be a part of a Marvel property like Agents of Shield. What an honor to be a Disney princess in Mulan. What a huge honor to be invited into the Star Wars universe as a character. And we all know what that means. I mean, once you're now action figures and all that kind of stuff goes along with that, which is always fun, right? And then that character can come back, as we already know it. She is coming back. Um, but I mean, like, which one do you have a favorite? I guess I hate to say it like this, but do you have like a favorite experience, at least so far in your career?
The one that's paying the most, I think, is always the answer. No.
That's not Pencilish, that's for sure.
um, for me, definitely. I mean, Mulan will always be my sentimental favorite because of every aspect of it. I was young in my career, and came upon this incredible role that has really become a true classic.
Hmm.
And sometimes that makes me feel old, but hey, what the heck, I've been around.
Yeah.
Um, and uh, and I think my current job as Fennec Shand is truly a childhood dream come true. So I'm just having so much fun when I go on set. The people that are involved are just as feverishly passionate about this world as I am, and it's incredible. And I just, I'm so grateful for all of it. And if I'm a testament to any person out there, any geek or nerd who was either bullied or made fun of or felt less in any way growing up in high school,
Mm.
um, just know that if you follow your dreams and you believe in who you are, yeah, you you can reach for the golden ring and make it
Mm.
happen. I'm a true testament of that.
Are you saying that you had some of that in high school?
Of course, of course. I mean, I was like one of the few, if not the only Asian growing up, and you get picked on a lot. I grew up first in New York, not knowing Chinese, so I had to learn Chinese. I had to go to special classes. So and I was petite and looked younger than my other classmates. So but you just find your circle of friends after a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But it makes you stronger.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for that. That's a great thing. I've seen you speak at Comic Cons and things like that online. Mostly, I've seen those. And not only are you funny, you're hilarious all the time. You steal the show, but you also, I love your heart. You always come on and you say things like you just said, which is, giving back to not just your fan base, but to everybody. Um, you know, that you're not any different than them, and I love that sentiment.
Well, I feel like I'm one of them, you know. I used to go to conventions or had friends that collected comic books. I collected comic books and toys. I still have a lot of toys from my high school days and my childhood.
Oh,
So it's, so I feel like I'm one of them. So it's sometimes a little bit weird when I'm on the other side now,
hmm.
but but it's also wonderful to have that connection. So
Well, okay. So then my last geek question is there from your childhood, say the geek side of you, right? Is there still like some character you want to play or anything like that, like a dream? You've had them all answered, it seems like, but is there still one?
Star Wars was definitely the big one. So I would love to now play some person that's on Earth. That's all.
More of a real,
I mean,
yeah.
where I'm just, in a living room watching TV or having dinner with the family and just something a little bit mundane and normal. That's
Awesome.
appealing. Like maybe like a romantic comedy or something, just
Yeah,
something fun and lighthearted
that's so
where I,
funny that
I
you
get to
say
be
that.
me, where I get to just be like the nerd, geek, goofy me with
Yeah.
a lot of sexual innuendos, but we won't go into that. This is a family show here. I'm
You
being
are.
very good. I'm being very good right now.
Yes, you are. Thank you. We you are known for that, Ming-Na. I don't know where that comes from, but it's a part of you for sure.
it comes it comes from the core, you know what I mean.
Okay, I gotcha.
That's fine.
uh,
All
well,
right.
thank you, Ming-Na. I know you got to
Yeah,
get going. I don't want to
I
stretch this
know.
out,
I know.
but
I'm just
everybody
popping.
that's yeah, a few people are asking on the chat. I just came in. Who's talking? So this is Ming-Na Wen. The announcement is that she is now on the advisory board of Pencilish Animation Studios. We're thrilled to have her, and she's joining a lot of other great advisory board members that we have. But none of them can claim to be in a Star Wars, Marvel, and a Disney franchise. All three of those. um, so so
Oh,
we're honored
hey,
to have you.
what about our project? How's that going?
Yeah, so
The pens.
not Pencilish, Pencil Test is the documentary that I created. It's separate from Pencil-ish because we had already been working on it for a good year before Pencil-ish came around. But Ming-Na does the narration on it, and she's an animated character also, playing herself. So which are so much fun. I'm animating that right now, Ming-Na, and I've shown you a couple little things from it. Um, but it's a thrill. You did such a great job on the voice for that and the
I
narration.
can't wait. I can't wait to see the whole thing.
Yeah, it's
So, and it's to honor all the 2D animators and a somewhat, I don't want to say a lost art form, but a more diminished one. But I feel like um, it's something that will never go away. I think 2D animators and what they give to each animated character is a lot of heart and soul that sometimes, the computer just still can't generate. So,
yeah, I agree with that. It's a different kind of life, and
mm-hmm,
a direct line from your heart to your hand,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
comes through.
Yes. So we're honoring that, and I can't wait to see the documentary.
Yeah.
But all right, I love you. I got a text that I have to go.
Okay.
So congratulations again, and thank you so much. I feel really honored that you asked me to be on board with Pencilish.
Well, we are honored too. Thank you, Ming-Na, and
Okay.
enjoy your day and your weekend.
Yes. All right.
Thank
Mwah.
you.
Bye.
Bye bye. Oh, so anyway, guys, so that was exciting. I didn't know if she was going to be able to call in. But fortunately, she came on right as I was about to say we were going to announce this later. But wow, yeah, that was really special. What a giver Ming-Na is, and I know she's going to be a really helpful part of Pencilish Animation Studios. So, yeah, we're going to have a poll coming up pretty soon. So, I did want to talk to you a little bit about my heart for Pencilish and kind of where this idea comes from. We're going to have Q&A, of course, and we're going to do some of that while I'm drawing. But I want to kind of start with where this idea came from. So, and welcome everybody for coming. I know we're kind of jumping into this fast. Um, so, a few years ago, I turned 48, and I won't say how many years. Okay, it was 4 years ago. Um, or 4 or 5. I turned 48, and when I did, it hit me. It was around the New Year's, and I was trying to, I was thinking about, what goals do I have for the next year? And what hit me was I'm not getting any younger. 50's right around the corner, and to me, it felt like, oh my gosh, that's old. I'll immediately be old at that point, and I can't really, duck that. And so, I started looking at my life and going, I've accomplished a lot of things. I've done all these things for Disney. I've worked for other studios. I'm still doing a lot. I created, educational websites and launched, TV series and things like that. But I hadn't really created anything for myself. And when I was at Disney, I created Mushu, the dragon, and I have dolls around here I have to pay for because, I don't have ownership of that character. Um, and so I started going, well, what am I waiting for? And so literally this day, Pencilish and this launch go roots back to that day when I was assessing my life and going, I I need to start developing my own TV shows and feature films, all these ideas that I've had for years that have just been sticking in a drawer. Um, and so I started then, and I started developing probably 8 or 10. I started working with a writer friend of mine, 8 or 10 TV shows and a couple feature film ideas. Um, and so you know, I'm excited to say that I'm not entering into this thing with nothing to show for it. So what ended up happening was then life kind of took over again, and some time went by, and then Ash Grayson, who's on the call right now, and he's a partner in Pencilish, he kind of said, well, hey, I just heard about this new thing. It's called, this regulation CF, and it's a way to start a company and have it crowd funded. And there's other people that have tried things that are film related, but nobody's really done an animation studio, an animation company. And so, with your background, Tom, you could probably pull that off. Why don't you think about this? And it really felt like a perfect storm of all the things that I had been doing in the last few years, not only developing my own content and starting to want to move forward on that, but also at the same time, I've been working in Florence, Italy at Nemo Academy, which is a school, art school and animation school in Florence. And we would make every summer a short film in a month with like 50 students. And so I was getting used to making short films. I was developing a TV series with Doug the Pug, which was an animal, like a celebrity animal, and all of those things were kind of pointing me toward wanting to not only develop stuff but also getting to know the younger generation and where their hearts were, and that they would love 2D animation and that they wanted opportunity. And then meanwhile, I work at Lipscomb University, and I've been an instructor there and started the program about 6 years ago. And I'm seeing students kind of come up, and they're just amazing. And many of them have the same thing. Here's the thing. I also started realizing, here's the other perfect storm, that right here in our own hands, all of us have a distribution system. And it's this distribution system that is free in most cases, and it goes all around the world. And it started to be that we are now living in this world, which we are squarely in right now, that we can get something out there and go direct to our audience. We no longer needed middlemen and women uh, to go through to get right to our audience. And YouTube has proven that out. There's no doubt about it. Um, and so why aren't we tapping into that? So with crowdfunding, um, and by the way, at the same time, I have a a loyal following on Instagram and elsewhere, Facebook and Twitter and things like that because of Disney, but also books I've written and other areas that they come from. That I started saying, well, you know, we kind of have an army. There's an army forming already, and these people love not only animation but 2D animation. And I started saying, well, to myself, this opportunity that Ash kind of mentioned to me, it all started making sense. And then I opened up, I thought a little bit deeper about it and said, well, wait a second. I also know a ton of people in the animation industry, pros at major studios that have even more ideas in their drawer, and nobody's tapping that. And so if Pencilish can be that kind of a company where we can create IP, some of it that we help finance and some of it that we don't, but that we have a partnership with those creators and we could get it out into the world. And by the way, phase one, doing it on YouTube, because that's where all the eyes are. Um, why isn't anybody doing that? And then on top of that, here's another thing that nobody does is yes, they do create content on YouTube. Some people do, and it's not usually regular or whatever, but they get stuff on there because they're doing it just because they love it. And there's some good stuff too. Most of it not, but some of it is. But they don't market it, right? They just sell it to their social networks and stuff. And many of them don't have a big following. So not everybody sees it. Every once in a while, one will blow up and go viral. But what if a company actually marketed the things that they created on and put onto YouTube and got a lot of eyes to look at it? And so again, that's where Ash comes in. Also, that's his involvement and his excitement. Um, but to me, nobody's quite doing all this. I'm not saying I'm making up everything. I'm originating every idea here, but I do think we're in a perfect storm of an opportunity to have people like yourselves be shareholders in a company that owns IP. Everything that we put out have a piece of, and then we actually go about it in a very professional manner, much the way Disney would do, but on a lot smaller scale. So we're not going to be the the cruise ship that Disney is, right? When they have a problem in front of them, and it's not just Disney, it's Pixar, or it's DreamWorks, any of the big companies. When they have a problem in front of them, an iceberg in front of their big cruise ship, they go through it and destroy it, or they acquire it. Okay, and to me, I want to be a speedboat. I want to be a boat that can go around those obstacles, that can turn on a dime when we see opportunity, or that can create projects that they wouldn't normally create because they need to make $1 billion off of it. Okay, we don't have to do that. We didn't put in, 150 or $200 million into what we created. We spent less, and so therefore we don't have to make that much to make that proportion amount of money. So I'm excited about it. Um, I'm not making any promises by any means. This is just these are the concepts and the thoughts that I'm going through that I think that we can all agree we're seeing out there in the world right now. That people are doing little elements of this and that, and I'm trying to put those things together and say, this is Pencilish Animation Studios, and do you want to join and be a part of this new revolution in animation? So we are going to get to questions, and I feel like I just kind of wanted to tell you that that's sort of my story. That's where this kind of came from, and that is where this is going. Yes, this is being recorded. I just saw somebody ask that. Um, oh, we didn't put it on Facebook, did we? We were going to do a Facebook Live. Jason, is it too late to maybe throw this on Facebook? Oh, he said sure. Okay, so why not? Live on Facebook. Uh-oh. Hang on one sec. The employees please use the live AP instead. Choose. This is very confusing. All right, so I'm putting it on Art of Tom Bancroft. If you want to sort of tell your friends, I guess. Um, anyway, uh, hold on one sec. Okay, I can see me. Hopefully, I won't have an echo or anything crazy. Yeah. Okay. I think it's a little delayed, but it's over there. So they missed the Ming-Na Wen special little interview that, unfortunately. So, but what we're going to do is I'm going to draw. And by the way, I'm going to do something kind of fun. I'm going to do a character design. I'm hoping that this is interesting to you because this is a different kind of company. We're going to create characters, we're going to create stories. So, why wouldn't I do that? Right. So I love character design and I love to design characters that, have some heart behind them. This one will be slightly generic, but hopefully I'll put a little fun into it. And so what we're going to do is I don't know what I'm going to draw yet. I'm going to put out a quiz right now. Jason is. And here's the criteria is you're going to tell me, is it a dog or a cat? The next question will be, is it a chef, a painter, or a business person? So I'll know the costuming to put it on. And then the next question will be, is it happy, sad, or angry? So, what should Tom draw, a dog or a cat? And I'll put all those things together and I'll make a character design based on what wins. So far, dog is winning, which is fine by me. As you can see, I like dogs. I have a pug. And I will get ready, and I got a screen share too. And we'll call it in just a second, by the way. I'm not going to make this go forever. Hopefully, this is fun for you guys. I've never really seen anybody kind of do it this way before. Oh shoot, yeah, I can still see it. Okay, good. All right. It looks pretty obvious that dog is the winner. I have 59% dog and 41% cat. So I'm going to end that poll, Jason. Okay, you did. Okay. And the next poll is share results. I don't know. Okay, there it is. So yeah, 60%. Okay, so here's the next poll. What is the character's occupation? A chef, painter slash artist, or a business person? This is a harder one. I kind of told Jason ahead of time that I wasn't sure which one would win. Oh man, it's neck and neck between chef and a painter. Wow, it's really close. We got chef at 40% and painter at 39. Business person's 21. Man. Okay, well, let's call that. And it looks like it is a chef. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. At 41%, chef won, 39% painter artist. I think we have a lot of artists in the crowd, but we must have more chefs. It says, okay, in poll. Oh, what emotion? Okay. So is it a happy chef dog? Or is it a sad or an angry one? Okay. Oh, wow. There's a lot of pent up aggression. Angry is really winning. We're at 51%, 50% for angry. Yeah. Thanks for voting. This is fun. All right. Well, let's call that. I think it's pretty clearly angry. So it's an angry dog chef. And I'm going to make it female too, I think, on top of that. So it'll be a female dog that's angry. So I'm going to stop sharing that. It says share results. Hopefully, you guys can see that. So 49% said angry. All right. So I'm gonna shut this off. I think it's me that does that. Okay. So now hopefully everybody can see my screen. I can't see the chat anymore now that I'm on screen share. But my assumption is that you can see a little window of me, and but mostly you see my drawing disc. Oops. So let's make that big. Okay. So, and what I'm going to do here, and I'm going to try and do this fast because I kind of need to, is I'm going to, oh, let me change my brush. This is Photoshop. I'm sure many of my artist friends that are here know all about Photoshop, but it's just a digital, drawing and painting software. And what I'm drawing on is a Wacom Cintiq. It's actually a huge one. I'm an influencer for Wacom, so they kind of gave this to me, which was, I mean, I kind of worked for it, but it was very nice. Looking for my favorite pencils. Here we go. Okay. There it is. Oh, it's a little digitizy. You're going like, why didn't you do this beforehand, Tom? There it is. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do a quick sketch first. Okay, so let's remember what we're doing here. We're doing an angry female, that's just my preference, dog. That's a chef. Okay. All right, so those are I have an emotion. I know what I want to do. Okay, so angry female. Okay, good. Let's start thinking about it. So not only am I designing right now and thinking of the basic shapes that I want to use in this, I'm also trying to think simultaneously of a pose and of course, what kind of dog too. I kind of feel like I need to do what I love the most, which is a pug. This will become more clear as I go. I'm trying to remember. Obviously, chefs have these. This is not. If there's chefs watching, I apologize. I didn't do my research. I didn't know what you guys were going to pick, so I don't really have everything lined up as far as reference goes. So I'm kind of making up this outfit. Remember, they have those curly tails in the back. Hopefully, this is interesting to you. Oh, and we can have some questions asked while I draw. Do we want to start doing that? What we were going to do is we are going to, I think that Jason is going to find people that have asked questions in the chat. So start asking questions, and we'll actually put you on screen. And I guess you can choose to have your face on screen or just your voice. And so you can ask your question, okay? And then I'll try and draw and talk, okay? And I did call it a talk and draw. So
Hey, Tom. So we're gonna look through the Q&A right now and find someone and bring them on. If you guys will remember, just keep your question brief so that Tom can keep drawing. And so let's go, and we'll go through a couple of the questions. So if we select you, you're going to get an invite where you can come on screen and ask Tom your question. So give us just a second, and we'll find a couple people. If you want to get a question in, just go in and raise your hand, or go into the Q&A and submit it there, and that's where we'll be pulling it from. All right, Tom, we have Emily Australia, and we're trying to bring her on right now. And
okay.
let's see if we can find Emily. Hold on one second. Oh, actually, Emily, I believe Emily needs to raise her hand in order to do that. Let's see if I can find Emily. Hold on one second.
I just realized I have a boy pug and I'm drawing a boy, and I said it was going to be a female.
Okay, there's Emily. So Emily, can you hear us? You have to unmute. All
Oh,
right.
yeah. I can hear.
Hi, Emily.
Hi, it's really nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too.
I'm fine, girling at the moment. I'm from Dominican Republic, and
Oh, great.
yeah, I just wanted to ask you because Mushu is like my favorite character from Disney, and I just wanted to know what do you use for inspiration to create him, and if you in the future you have any plans of designing any character like similar to Mushu.
Well, I mean, legally, I probably can't, draw anything too similar to Mushu, since Disney owns him. But you're saying what your first part of the question was, like, what was my inspiration?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. The script was the big part. I mean, with every film and TV show, the script kind of helps guide at least the initial direction of the story and the characters, and things kind of evolve after that. But so in my case, with Mushu, we knew right away that he was going to be kind of a smart talker, wise guy, kind of a character that's overly confident, like way too confident. He's kind of a mess up, but he doesn't know he's a screw up. And so what would go along with that is that he was, obviously an Asian dragon too. So I knew the little bit of research I did with dragons was that, obviously Asian dragons are very thin and snake-like in their body. So I knew that was going to affect the character design, in which direction I'd go in. And there were like small discoveries along the way. I mean, I did hundreds of different versions of Mushu when I was designing him. Um, and it was a really fun time. I love that character. I still do. Um, and then on top of that, the script, and then of course Eddie Murphy came in very early on, but not that early. Like I was actually doing animation tests with a version of Mushu with like Joe Pesci's voice at one point, and Richard Dreyfuss was being considered at one point. These are probably actors you may not know, Emily, but were very popular at the time. Um, and then Eddie Murphy was decided upon, and it didn't really change his design, believe it or not, but it definitely changed his attitude, the way I had him act, and the poses that he would strike and things like that. Um, he's definitely a big part Eddie Murphy, but also a big part me. A lot of his acting is the way I act, or at least I would if I was a dragon. So I hope that helps.
Emily, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it. All right. So next we're going to bring in another one. Let's see. Let's see. Robert Cohn. We'll see if Robert wants to ask this question directly. Hold on one second. Hi, Robert.
Hi, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
We can.
Hi,
Hey,
Robert.
Tom. First, I want to say I'm so excited that you're doing this, and I saw the ad on Facebook, and I
Yeah.
got to participate. This is just like a dream come true. I'm a big animation fan.
Oh, that's great.
I have this great memory, real quick, of my family took me to see Fantasia when I was like 8 or 9 years old. I'm 58. There
Oh,
was
wow.
no guests in those days. We had to drive across town to this theater that brought it into town. So that's such a powerful memory for me.
Yeah, that's a good film. Obviously, that's a classic.
Yeah. Well, my question was, so the entire media landscape now, of course, is streaming. And I wonder, sort of, does that create any special challenges to start up an animation studio? And do you actually know people in the world of these streaming companies that, that you can talk to and get your product in front of?
Yeah, I got to stop. um, Definitely, yes to both. I mean, interesting world we're living in. Yes, but very positively so. This is a great opportunity time, I think, for something like Pencilish with streaming. Also, we've all read those articles, I'm sure, where we're constantly hearing, and especially somebody like me who's in the industry, we hear it a lot that all the studios, all the streamers, they're all looking for content right now. It's a real good time to be creating content, because it's kind of I guess you could say, a buying frenzy. Now the part that we don't hear about a lot is they still want quality. It's not just you create something and everybody gets in. So that's where I'm hoping that we can kind of set ourselves apart, is that we want to create stuff that is still interesting and relevant. Really, my age group that I'm targeting right now is more of the TikTok generation than preschool. So that means junior high to high school to college age. And so because of that, we're going to have a little bit more mature content than maybe some people are creating today. Although I already know it's popular because we're seeing it everywhere. And what I mean by that is the level of comedy and romance. You see it in webtoons.com is a webtoon website that has both comedy and romance. Very hundreds and like they just have millions of people going to that website to digest that, and it's very much made for your phone kind of content. That's really not so far off from what we want to do with Pencilish. So yeah, I do think I think we're going to be attractive to the streamers. I also think we're going in a slightly new original direction with what we're going to create too, which also excites me. Um, I'm trying to remember your other part of that question. Did I answer it? I don't think I did. I don't.
I think you did. The only other question I said is, do you actually have any contacts
Oh,
at the?
yeah. Yes. So the answer is yes. I have contacts. I have pitched things at Netflix already. And I have many friends that are over there. I kind of know somebody almost at any studio that you could name. And part of that is because I do a podcast with my twin brother, Tony. And so we have a lot of contacts within the industry, but also our advisory board. I don't want to leave them out. We have some amazing contacts through Steve Macbeth, was a former vice president of Disney and created Disney Interactive during his tenure. But also Aaron Blaze, all of our advisory board members, and now Ming-Na Wen, have contacts at all the kind of major studios and streamers. So, that's a yes.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, Robert.
You too, Tom. Thanks.
All right, guys. While Tom keeps on drawing, we're going to look, and I don't believe this person is still on, James Mitchell, but he had a great question. So, Tom, I will just ask it unless James can. Let me search for James one more time. I believe James may have dropped off. He did, but his question is, glad to have an opportunity to be a part of Pencilish, Tom, but how will projects be chosen?
Yeah. So yeah, I've been getting a lot of, okay, so I'll back up. One of the blessings of Pencilish so far has been to see how many artists are getting involved and being investors. And some of those are kind of artist friends of mine. Others I don't know at all, but many of them kind of want to be involved because they're excited about it, and they also see it as potentially a future for their idea that they have. And so I have a feeling that's kind of the root of this question too. So what I've been trying to tell people, at least recently, is that I want to have that opportunity. I want to be able to go, especially to our investors first, and say, do we have ideas within our kind of our collective, within our shareholder group? And that also goes along with artists too, animators and people like that that are a part of Pencilish. I want to be able to afford them an opportunity to have, obviously, not only a voice to some potentially some of the things we make, but also, if they have IP or ideas of their own. So I will say this: I don't think that's a right away thing, like an immediate thing, because I kind of was hinting, I think earlier, that I already have a bunch of IP of my own, but also some of other creators that I'm approaching right now. And so I'm looking at about 7 different properties right now that are in front of me, and but needing to narrow that down probably for what we actually launch with, which will be, I don't even know yet because it depends upon how far our investment goes, but could be around 3 properties. And so while I do want to start with more than just one idea, of course, what I'm saying is I feel like we're already moving down the road with a few things that I'm super excited about. So please sign up for the mailing list and go to pencilish.com, and you can sign up there for our mailing list. And that's where I think we're going to start tapping into down the road and saying, okay, now we're looking for more IP. We're looking for more ideas. So does anybody have anything they want to pitch? And we'll figure out how to go about that. So we have some legal sides to that too. We want to have the right paperwork in place that protects you and us when it comes to pitching your original ideas. So I hope that helps. I hope that answers that question. Going back to my surly chef.
Tom, did you want to take a few more?
Yeah.
All right, outstanding. Guys, we'll tell you, we had a lot of questions. It looks like there's, I don't know, over 300 people with their hand raised. So we apologize. We're obviously not going to get to everyone. But thank you guys so much for being a part of this. Thank you guys so much for giving us your time and interacting with Tom, and we appreciate it. We're going to try to answer as many of these as we can. The next one we have is Kathy White. And so Kathy, we're going to see if we can pull you up. Kathy has a question about films or shows, and I think it goes right into, Tom, the model and the vision that you have for Pencilish. So Kathy, your question regarding the plans for the company around films, or maybe you could ask that one to Tom.
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi, Kathy.
Okay. Hello. So yes, I'm just curious because I've seen your work and also your brother's work. You two are amazing. I absolutely love you guys. So my only question is that, like, considering now, with COVID still going on and stuff is happening now, what are your plans in regards to like films and series? Are you doing like computer series, where you got people have to go to a certain website and watch like all the stuff that you've done, or you plan to, make a deal with any? Do you have any lineups for any deals with companies or app providers like HBO, Netflix, or any of that?
Yeah, so I mean I heard a few different questions in there,
Yeah,
and
sorry.
it sounded like one question was like, would we be doing computer animation as opposed to 2D animation? Is that a sub question in there?
Particularly, like, I suppose the main question I'm asking is like, how do you plan to have like your work depicted in movies and like in films and TV shows?
Mm-hmm.
Like, once you get finished, what is the plan to bring it out to the public?
Well, it's a good question. I was kind of going there in the last one of the last questions about developing IP and also our relationships with Netflix or other streamers. Do we have those relationships? And so I can't give a definite answer to that because there's so many different routes that we could take. And that's what's exciting to me is that there's not one route as far as return on investment for this kind of a opportunity with creating your own IP and stories. So um, I'm trying to think if I'm answering this right, but the answer is, yes, we see a lot of different situations and scenarios down the road, and some would be obviously gauged upon how much success we have and how much returns we're getting to know can we jump to the next level, like say a feature film. Like to me, that's further down the road because of how much those cost to make. um, but by the way, I definitely have feature films I really want to make. I have a dream project especially that I'm just dying to do. So yeah, will we get into CG? That's possible. Do I love 2D and want to stay in 2D as much as I can? Yes, that's also true. But I don't think that technique should hold us back. I think we can make a beautiful CG film, say down the road, or even a series. Right now, what I'm really kind of centered on, and I'm hoping I'm answering your question, is creating short form TV series. And I don't know if I explained that at least on this webinar yet. But what that means to me is I look at a season as about 10 episodes. And a season is also each episode only being about 3 to 5 minutes long. So they're little shorts, but they're sequential. And so yes, you could binge watch them potentially in a short amount of time, but hopefully we're going to stagger. We're going to have enough different series going on at once that we can stagger the releases, and put out say one or two a week, and have new content coming out fairly consistently. And that's really just the beginning. The bigger picture is hopefully to get even more content on the Pencilish YouTube channel, to have enough content out there that people can really come here and see a really good range of different kind of content. All of it animation, most likely, at least for the first few years. But yeah, where that can go is, one of our projects could become very, very, very popular. And one of the streamers approaches us and says that we want to now take that and have it be on, say, Netflix, and then therefore they want to make it maybe a longer form show and make it 11-minute episodes, and therefore we shape it for that. Maybe another one that's popular, we hold on to, and we don't quite sell all the babies, right? And we hold on to it, but it's popular, and so we start doing merchandising. And so I think merchandising is really where you make the most money when it comes to an animated TV show or feature film. And so holding on to those rights is going to be important too. So again, we have different avenues to take, and I think it's going to depend on the IP itself and like what's the best way to sort of monetize that. But job one is making good content. And so really that's the phase we're in right now. We do have to have obviously goals and a direction, but I really want us to concentrate mostly on which ideas we do, how we achieve them, and even the budget we put on each one of them, which they are going to be all low budget, but again, they're short form. We can get out content faster and less expensively doing it in this way. So I think I answered your question. I don't know, you tell me. Was it Kathy?
Yes, hi. Yeah, seems like you answered everything that I was looking at. So,
Oh, great.
thank you.
All right, Kathy, thank you so much. Hey, Tom, to give you some time to draw, I think the webinar is scheduled to end at 5:30, which gives us about another 30 minutes. And we want to give you some time to draw. We wanted to find out, how many people on here are actually investors in the company, and shareholders for all of you guys. So I'm going to start a poll really quick. And so feel free to answer that poll. We're just curious as to how many people on here are partners with Tom and the rest of the crew. So we are giving a couple people some time to answer, and also watching Tom do an amazing job drawing an angry female dog shelf. Someone in the comments said it is a female version of oh gosh, what is the what is the chef's name? The angry chef from Hell's Kitchen.
Oh yeah, I don't watch that show, but I know who you're talking about.
Oh, somebody, Gordon Ramsay. Everybody listed in the comments. A female version of Gordon Ramsay. Okay, so it looks like, oh wow. So 62% of the people, Tom, that are on the webinar are actually shareholders and investors in the company. That is amazing.
That's exciting. Yeah, I love that. No, not
Yeah,
yet.
that's pretty amazing.
I like how we phrase that. Yeah, no, not yet, but I will be.
Oh,
But yeah,
absolutely.
Obviously,
no, we're excited.
we hope you guys will all join us. Those that haven't yet, hopefully you're learning some good stuff that is, making this sound appealing. We definitely want your involvement.
Well, I know I speak for Tom and Ash and the other advisory board members when I say that we're just so excited, for everyone who is invested in the company, but also those who haven't invested, right? To spend time with us tonight to get to know you in Pencilish and to see the vision for Pencilish. We just want to say thank you for spending the time with us and getting to know us. Even if you're not an investor, you're part of the community. And, we have some exciting things planned, and I know Tom has a vision that we all want to support. Okay,
so what should be the name be? Should I stop this poll? That's great. 63%. I'm going to stop that, yes? Oh, share the results.
We're good.
Okay. Do we need a name for her?
Should we ask the people in the comments to maybe submit some names?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, we need some names. So Tom, I'll let you pick it. I'll just read off because they're going so fast. Georgina Ramsey, Bianca the Mad Dog, Peggy the Pug, Sterling, Pujita the Chef, Pugsy Gordon. I don't know that Gordon Ramsay would be very happy if he saw this webinar, Tom.
Pugsy Gordon, I like that.
Chefina, Paws of Fury, Pipsa, Randy, Abigail, Coco La Cosanera. I butchered that one. They are going so fast, Tom. These people are creatives. They're kicking off some amazing names.
I like Pugsy. I can spell it too, and with an I.
Pugsy it is.
Morgan. Ramsey. Let's do the Ramsey.
Pugsy Ramsey. Tom, are you done? Or are you still going to draw? I was going to maybe ask Ash a question while you finish up.
I was gonna stop, but
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, let me do this. We might want to share this online, so I'll write down the criteria over here. So, um, angry.
While you're doing that, I'm going to ask Ash Grayson. Ash is on the advisory board and is a great marketer and understands YouTube. I know Tom mentioned earlier about YouTube being a potential distribution method for some of the animation. So Ash, maybe you could just talk a little bit about the power of YouTube. And if you want me to find out if anyone has any questions specifically for Ash and about YouTube, they can ask. So Ash.
Sure. Howdy, howdy. Audio check. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, part of my excitement for this is, Tom has more creativity in his thumbnail than I have in my body. And he had all these awesome ideas and projects. And I'm a born marketer. The thing I love more than anything is connecting talent and audience without the layer of middlemen, right? So we've seen it. Like they're already talking. Bradley just posted what I was about to say, which there was a YouTube series for Cobra Kai, and it's now on Netflix. So I remain convinced that the audience is always right. And that if we get them in a format like YouTube, that we can go anywhere we want, and I'm really passionate about all you guys. I mean, this is not just an animation company, it's an animation community. And I think that that's the power of what we have here, is not just Tom, but he's the glue that holds all of this together. And with YouTube, we can kind of do whatever we want. We can be a spider monkey in a world of 800-pound gorillas. We can build an audience. My kids, of which I have a bunch, I have 7 kids, and they watch YouTube, and like they're not asking me to buy Saturday morning cartoon plushies. They're asking me for something they saw in a YouTube video, right? If you look at even something like video games, right? There was an independent video game called Among Us that sat around for a year. And then in August, that company got picked up by a couple influencers who went on YouTube and Twitch and said, hey, this is a fun little game. It's basically, hide and go seek, right? And that game is now probably worth hundreds of millions of dollars to the creators. And it just because it got out in an open marketplace. I mean, the #1 search engine in the world is Google. The #2 search engine in the world is YouTube, right? That's where I had to go to a meeting once where I had to wear a tie. And I usually travel with my kids whenever travel was a thing. And I couldn't tie my tie. And so my 11-year-old at the time got on YouTube and found like a reversed video where someone taught me how to tie a tie. So he tied my tie for me from YouTube. And I just know Tom and the people around him are going to make really good stuff that I'm going to be super proud of, just to have some, tiny little influence over. But if you guys have nerdy marketing questions, I'm probably the guy. You don't want me to do a live drawing. That's for sure.
What just happened?
Well, guys, if you have a question, just leave it in the comments, and we'll just ask it to Ash regarding anything marketing or YouTube.
Oh, there we go.
Here we go. Dave said, when is a YouTube channel plan to launch, and is it tied to the investment total benchmark? I'm not sure about the last one, but maybe you could answer the first one. Tom, what's the plan, and when should we expect for projects to potentially be ready to be launched through a Pencilish YouTube channel?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think my plan, at least right now, and again, advisors need to kind of talk and speak to this, and I haven't really even shared it with them totally. Was at least my thought process right now, and we talked a little bit about it, Jason and Ash, is to have sort of a soft launch, and that would be maybe the first 3 episodes or so of each series, having that prepared while the rest are still being made, but get those out there and market those so that we get as many eyes on those first 3 of each series. So if it was, say, 3 series, that would be like 9 episodes. Um, uh, and that way we can give everybody a taste of what it's going to be and not have to wait for all 10 episodes to be out. And then we can start then releasing one at a time after that. So that's kind of my, my dream, I guess you could say, of maybe how we would get it out there. And that'll help us get it out there a little bit sooner too, of course. Um, uh, but we still have a lot of development and script writing and voice recording and all of that upfront stuff that we are just starting in on in most cases with these first properties. And so I do think we have a good 8 months to a year that potentially before we have those first shows ready to come out. What I hope is going to be fun for everybody and make that ride interesting is that we can eventually start showing some of that to you guys, the investors especially, and getting you to see some of the artwork, some of the development that we're doing. And again, we have to have everything kind of, and I wish I could share it. I really did. Like my character design I wanted to do tonight, I wanted to do it at, like as a development of one of our shows that I'm looking at right now. But that with legally, that's not a smart idea to get that out there without having all the legals sewn up first. So we have to figure out, how are we, covering ourselves on the copyrights for everything? Do we have all the URLs for the properties sewn up before we can really even show our investors, right? So, I hate that part of it, but we do need to be careful because we want to protect your investment. So I hope that's an answer that one makes sense, but also two is not off-putting.
That was great, Tom. Hey, I do want to ask you a question. We've got this in the comments and a lot of the questions.
Okay.
And it talks about when will Pencilish merchandise be available, stickers and T-shirts and things of that nature. And so I was just wondering myself, maybe you could speak to that. And then I just wonder, maybe you guys can leave it in the comments. And Tom, maybe this is a good idea or a bad idea. What if we took this drawing and maybe put a saying about Pencilish, threw it on a shirt, and let people buy it? As the first piece of Pencilish merchandise, that they would have a story behind it. Would anybody buy that?
I don't know.
Definitely make sure it's signed though. So Tom's got to sign it. Yes, heck yeah. Yes, of course, yes. I'd buy one. I would buy a Pugsy Ramsey shirt. I'm in.
Are we going to get in trouble calling it Pugsy Ramsey?
We're probably going to have to change the name and maybe put something cool like, maybe something that says, "What? You're not part of Pencilish," since this guy's angry, and have Tom sign it. But it would be a cool little shirt that, God, so many people are commenting. One for myself too. I'm going to get like 3. Wow.
Well, I mean, I kind of love where you're headed with that. I don't know if this is the image, but I wonder if people are referring to actually like a pencilless.
Yeah, I was more so just talking and playing, but yes, a lot of the questions are, when will Pencilish merchandise be available? I would love a sticker or a T-shirt, things of that nature. And here's the thing: I think a lot of these investors and people in the community, they're proud. They're proud to be a part of it, and they're asking when they can have something that they can be proud of and show off part of their company.
Yeah, I love that. You know what? We haven't and we didn't have, we have perks on the Pencilish investment website, WeFunder. But we don't have like a t-shirt or something. We kind of pulled away from that because I've heard, disaster stories about, t-shirt sales. But I love t-shirts myself, and I know people do. Hold on, sorry about that. There we go. So, do I want to get into that? Yeah, I do. I love that idea. So let's, yeah, we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into that for sure.
So we'll table that one and figure out if there's an easy way that we can do something. Maybe we can use a website like Spring Tees or something like that, set up some drawings. We can allow people to go and buy that shirt and deliver it, and they can have some cool Pencilish swag. So if you guys will, make sure that you go to pencilish.com and sign up for the email list. If you're an investor, you're already on the WeFunder update list, so you will get updates. So make sure anytime you see an update through WeFunder, a lot of that is going to be Pencilish related. They're also going to email you about other companies. We apologize. That's not from us. That's just something that WeFunder does. WeFunder is a third-party platform. And so they have a lot of companies that raise, and they may email you certain things. And again, we apologize, but that is the best way that we communicate with you. But we'll also send out emails if you go to pencilish.com and sign up there, and then go to the Pencilish Instagram page and follow, and that's the way we'll get our message out and make sure you guys have access to some cool merchandise.
Yeah, I want to wear it, so I'm all for it. Yeah, let's do that. I'm trying to wrap this up because I do have to get going pretty soon. It is Mexican night at our house. We usually go to a restaurant nearby. So I'm wrapping this up.
Alejandro Lazo said, "Woohoo! I'm Mexican." So shout out, Tom.
Oh, our favorite kind of food over here, that's for sure.
Oh, here's one. Michelle says, "Have the perks already been sent out?" Michelle, I'll answer this one. The answer is no. All of that will happen after the offering closes. So the offering is still open. It will probably be open for a while. And so those perks won't be sent out and really completed until the offering's closed. So that could be, like I said, whenever the offering closes. So we're not really sure. I'd have to get the date in front, but just as a blanket answer, they're not sent out yet. And whenever the offering finishes, those will be handled. Important question from Jonathan Bowling, Tom. He said, yeah. Burrito or taco?
Burrito. Yeah, definitely burrito. I'm a burrito guy. Yeah. That was a really important question. Thank you.
You know what? I wanted to make sure we got that one in. Ash, burrito or taco?
I like Baracco. I'm the guy who orders the weird stuff from Taco Bell. It's bad. They put it like they put like a taco inside of a burrito or a Crunch Wrap Supreme.
that sounds like Taco Bell.
Yeah. See, I told you I wasn't as cool as Tom.
All right. I'm going to save this so that we can maybe put it on Facebook and at least on the Pencilish Instagram and some other places, right? Let me stop screen sharing this so that, hold on. How do I stop it? Okay, there we go.
Hey, while you're doing that, Tom, a lot of people have asked, they're so excited. They're saying that this has been an amazing experience, and they're asking when can we do this again? Is this something that we should do, once a week, once a month? I'm just curious if people can leave it in the comments, but ultimately it's going to be up to Tom. But people seem to really enjoy this, Tom.
Yeah, I do want to do it again for sure. So we haven't really talked about the frequency. Kind of, wanted to see how this went. So we got 294 people right now, so that's not too terrible. And I know we certainly enjoyed it. So yeah, we're gonna do it again. And I don't know if I can do it every week like I'd like to. I have a bunch of things I'm trying to finish up, but also launching into all this development that we're doing right now for Pencilish. So maybe we'll do it every other week or something like that. But yeah, look for the updates on wefunder.com/Pencilish. It's also where you invest, those of you that are still on the fence. And then of course the mailing list, I guess, too. Did we send out a mailing list email about this, or did we? I think it went through WeFunder.
Yes, and we also did email. It did go out as well through the list.
Okay, good. So yeah, look for that. And on my Instagram and the Pencilish Instagram, you're going to see Pugsy Ramsey pop up eventually, hopefully tonight. And you'll go, I was there. I helped develop that character. So by voting. I hope that was fun for you guys. I love to draw. I mean, that's really the heart of what I do and the thing that I care about the most. And so I hope my brain and my hands last for many, many years. But Pencilish isn't just about my brain and my hands. It's bigger than that. And hopefully you're going to see that too, is that you're going to see all these new creators that haven't been tapped, that haven't been discovered, at least in this way, creating things that would not have been created by the major companies. We're going to find those things and we're going to make them. And I'm super excited about that. And by the way, it won't matter where you live. Some of the people I'm talking to are in Scotland. They're in Greece. I've talked to Costa Rica, recently. We're looking all over the world, literally. And because of Instagram and social networking, that's not hard. We all follow people that we're kind of fans of. And we really haven't even looked at YouTube. We need to look at YouTube too, right? So lots going on. Are we going to call it now? Because I'm right. Well, no, I have a couple minutes. So any other questions? Do we want to take one more or two more questions?
Sure. Hold on one second. Let me find a couple questions. Tom, I'm not going to bring them on, but I'll go ahead and answer this one live. So Rob Miller asked, how involved is your brother with Pencilish?
Oh, good question. So I already mentioned this, but he is very involved in that he is on the advisory board. He's not one of the, the running it. I'm the CEO. I'm kind of entrepreneurial and therefore that's something that I kind of do on my own a lot of times. Of course, Ash Grayson is also a partner in it. So yes, he is very involved, but yeah, not in a sort of a CEO kind of a stance. Yeah, we do the podcast together. That's 100% both of us, or I guess you'd call it 50-50 both of us. So I hope that answers your question. But yeah, I'm trying to get him to create something. I want him to go, okay, pitch me something. I want to hear what he's got. And we've talked about doing something together too. So I'm hoping that'll happen down the road. Is there another question or?
Yeah, this may be just one that you can answer generally. So Nassar Sham says, Tom, given that we are all in this together, please let us know, or what can we do to help get the word out, and how can we partner in your success or in the success of Pencilish?
Ooh, I love that. So thank you for asking that. We need the help. We need to get this out to whomever, especially on the investment side, of course, because with that capital, we can create more projects. And so that's what's important to me right now is being able to have the capital to be able to create the things that we want to create and then make more of that. Tell your friends that are animation friends, that are investment people. We've been really fortunate that we've had, it's funny, I was telling Jason this, that there's sort of two criteria that I thought would kind of come to us. And one was sort of, animation fans. And I know many of you are animation fans that have also invested, which is great. I mean, I want that too. I love the fan base of just loving animation and wanting to be involved in the first crowdfunded animation studio. But the other side was like real investors, what I call real investors. Maybe they aren't really even animation fans, but kind of get the business plan side of this, that recognize the opportunity that might be there for Pencilish and what our goals are. And to me, that's sort of second tier. And I'm excited to see, we've had a few people come to us and that said, what is the, what's the minimum and what's the maximum I can invest. So I love hearing that too. So please, spread the word to everybody on your socials. Many of you have, by the way, and thank you for that. I've seen a lot on Instagram and Facebook where people have been reposting about it and saying, join me. I'm a part of this adventure, and I think it's cool. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. My pug wants to end. Hold on one second. There it is. Okay. By the way, my pug's name is Mushu. No coincidence there. But I didn't name him. My kids did. So it wasn't all ego. So I do have to head out, guys. The burritos are calling. Let's see. So if it's okay, Jason, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you all for coming. This has been an amazing attendance. And so hopefully we'll do at least every month and bring this back. This will not be the last. I can promise that. It's been a joy to get to know you guys and to also draw for you and just kind of show you a little bit of a little glimpse of what the process is to actually create an animated show. That was a little glimpse of that. And then what a major thing that we had Ming-Na Wen come on and talk to you guys. That was really, really special. So she's our new advisor. If you're just coming on right now, we're excited. So we're going to get that word out too on the socials probably later tonight or tomorrow. So
Tom?
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, someone asked in here who I was. My name is Jason Brown. I'm on the advisory board. Ash Grayson is also on here, who is an owner and on the advisory board. And Tom, I just wanted to say thank you for your time. Thank you for your vision of doing this. We're so excited that you're leading the Pencilish team, and we know we're all in good hands. I also just wanted to say to everyone who did not get their question answered, we literally had over 300 questions. It's impossible for us to get to all of them. We're going to do this again. And so I just want to personally say that we're sorry and we apologize if we did not get to your question. But thank you guys so much. And again, Tom, thank you for being so generous with your time and talents.
Thank you, Jason. And one last thing is we forgot to even say this, but if you do want to invest or want more information about investing, please go to wefunder.com/Pencilish. And that is our page on WeFunder that has all the information there. I've answered a ton of questions, investor questions, and you'll find those there. Updates too. Look at the updates, please. And then a slick little video where, by the way, I'm not as tired looking. My eyes are starting to shut. But thank you so much for coming, and please go check out wefunder.com/Pencilish. I think it's in the chat too. So this has been great. Thank you guys. All right, bye now, and I'll see you on the internet. Bye-bye.